Yo guys, the Moosterd here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about something really interesting in my opinion, and it all started one day when I was looking at my games on my PlayStation, and I noticed that most of them were digital, and, I was starting to think, like, if more people are buying digital games, and GameStop being, the gaming, like, center where everyone goes to get their games for the most part, they sell physical copies, right? So what would happen if everyone started buying digital and no one would buy physical anymore? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So for me personally, like I said earlier, is most of my games are digital. And I'm not sure about everyone else, but I got curious, so I started searching online. I started asking my friends, how many games that are digital that you have, like, are you like gonna continue getting digital, or are you gonna keep getting physical? And this chart that I'm about to show you really just, or this graph rather, really explains it. So this graph or chart, recent digital and physical sales information. Now, as you can see, it's not really up to date, but still, 2014, as you can see, in 2010, it was like a good majority was, getting physical. But then, as you can see, in 2014, like, just a couple years ago, more than half are getting digital copies. Now, like I said, I have no idea what it is right now, but you can only imagine the big jump that it's going to increase the digital sales, obviously. So, like I said earlier, GameStop mainly sells physical copies of games. Now, I know you can argue, they also sell like gaming merchandises and like t-shirts, like other stuff like that. They also sell like those digital codes. I know you can say stuff like that, but in reality, most of the store is physical copies. I mean, like I said, I know you can argue they sell other things, but more than 85% of the store are like, discs. So, it's mainly physical copies. Then I started to think, what about the next generation consoles? Are they only going to support digital copies of games? Like, I started to think, like, we're getting more and more digital every single day in this world. So, what would happen if the PS5 and the Xbox 720, we're just going to call them that for the sake of this video, would only have, would not have a disc tray, like would physically not support putting discs inside the console? What would happen? Now, I started to look at PC, and for the most part, Steam, or 100%, Steam is all digital for the most part, or all of it. So I started to think, what if consoles did this? And I know you might be thinking, what about the Xbox 360? What about the PS3? Maybe GameStop would hold on a little bit to those, but eventually they're going to run out of games to sell. Now, you may be thinking, what about Nintendo? And, that's a good point, but think about it. If the PS5 and the Xbox 720 were to go all digital, Nintendo would have to do the same in order to stay. So, like I said earlier, I'm not sure how long GameStop could hold selling, old games and selling gaming merchandise. Like, I really have no idea. So, could GameStop not be the center of all games anymore? Would it eventually just not sell games at all? Will it just be the store where you can get like t-shirts of a game, or like, like merchandise and stuff like that? But then I was thinking, what if, not all people have like, debit cards and like credit cards to put on their consoles. Like, I know a good majority of like people do, but not everyone. So what would they do? So, I started to think, like, would they still sell those like cards you can like scratch off and put on? Like, I was starting to think about that. But then I also started to think that like CVS's have those, and like other like, quick stores like that. In reality, obviously this is not going to happen overnight. It's, going to take a couple of years, but it is going to happen whether they like it or not. I mean, it's going to eventually happen. I mean, things are getting digital all the time, and I really cannot see it. I just don't see it where it's going to, physical and digital are going to exist in, together. So like, I really think that discs and physical copies are going to slowly die off, and digital is going to be the only. So that's it for today's video. I'm actually really curious to hear about what you guys think, so make sure you put that in the comments. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.